Twitter's story is one of shocking irony. The social media giant that once empowered liberation movements met its downfall by the very cancel culture it helped unleash. For years, Twitter was the breeding ground for outrage mobs to attack ideological opponents and get them fired or banished from public life. But in a twist of fate, the cancelers became the canceled when billionaire Elon Musk took over the company in 2022. Amid mass protests, boycotts, and loss of users, Twitter itself was canceled. The one-time bastion of free speech saw traffic, revenue, and its reputation crater. The blue bird that once represented freedom of ideas was crossed out and replaced by a stark black X, symbolizing the site's cancellation. In the end, Twitter fell victim to the same merciless canceling machine it enabled for so long. Its ironic demise marks the day the cancelers themselves were canceled. Cancel culture refers to the public shaming and boycotting of individuals or groups over perceived wrong thinking or wrongdoings. On Twitter, cancel campaigns became common, with users digging up old tweets or quotes to paint someone as racist, sexist, or problematic. The mob would then pressure the person's employer to fire them or otherwise punish them. High-profile cancellations on Twitter include figures like Kevin Hart, Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling, Dave Chappelle, Ellen DeGeneres, Kyrie Irving, Roseanne Barr, Kanye West, and others. Often a single old tweet was enough to ignite backlash and calls for cancellation, even if the person apologized. The culture became so pervasive that people would preemptively delete old tweets out of fear of being canceled. Twitter faced criticism for enabling and amplifying cancel culture, as its design allowed outrage mobs to swiftly gather and attack targets. But the company defended itself, viewing cancel culture as a form of accountability. Before becoming known as a hub for outrage mobs, Twitter had been hailed for its role in grassroots liberation movements around the world. During the Arab Spring uprisings of the early 2010s, Twitter was used to organize protests and share information in countries like Egypt, Tunisia, and Iran, where authoritarian regimes restricted free speech. The platform gave voice to dissidents and helped bring global attention to pro-democracy movements. This history of using Twitter for liberation made its later association with cancel culture even more jarring in the eyes of some. The platform that once helped take down dictators was now enabling takedowns of civilians over minor transgressions. While Twitter helped free suppressed voices in one era, in another it empowered suppression via viral shaming campaigns and demands for firings. In 2022, billionaire Elon Musk announced plans to acquire Twitter, aiming to take the company private and enact his vision of a platform with fewer speech restrictions. After a complex back-and-forth bid process, Musk purchased Twitter for $44 billion in October 2022. Musk signaled significant changes to Twitter's culture and policies. He criticized what he saw as excessive censorship on the platform and shifting too far left politically. As a free speech absolutist, Musk intended to allow all legal speech on Twitter and move away from permabans. This posed a direct threat to cancel culture, which relied on getting users banned for controversial statements. Musk's purchase of Twitter outraged many who felt he would enable harmful speech and roll back social progress. In an ironic turn, much of the Twitter community revolted against Musk's takeover and sought to cancel the platform itself. High-profile users threatened to quit the site if Musk enacted his policies. Advertisers paused spending on Twitter, wary of being associated with pervasive hate-mongering. By some estimates, Twitter hemorrhaged over 1 million users in the months after Elon took over. Its reputation plummeted among media, celebrities, and previously loyal users. Employees were fired or resigned en masse, gutting Twitter's workforce and operations. The ability to moderate content and prevent system outages came into question. Musk continued to face boycott calls until he restored some banned accounts and walked back certain planned changes around verification and moderation. Twitter's traffic and revenue declined sharply. The possibility emerged that the site could literally shut down if users abandoned it. This potential collapse would mark one of the most dramatic cancellations yet on social media. Sensing weakness and opportunity in his competition, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook and Meta started a competing Twitter-like service called Threads. While Twitter helped popularize canceling those with unpopular opinions or past mistakes, the tables turned when Elon Musk took over, and Twitter itself faced cancellation. The platform's decline highlights cancel culture's slippery slope. Ultimately, the mob may come for you too. Perhaps there are lessons here about proportionality, understanding, and the importance of free speech, even for those we disagree with. The fall of Twitter illustrates how what goes around comes around, an irony of a site undone by the very culture it helped unleash.